Tuesday, okay. I had to think about what day it was. But happy Tuesday. Today we did a lesson on lesson 9. So again, I remember on yesterday I was telling you that today would probably be the, not lesson 9, I'm sorry, multiplying nines. So today's lesson was with multiplying nines. Yesterday I was telling you that today would possibly be the nines, and that was correct. So again, on Thursday, Friday, this whole lesson, lesson 7, was to teach you your 7s, 8s, and 9s. On Thursday and Friday, we worked with 7s, and then on Monday we did 8s, and then today's Tuesday, we are working on 9. So tomorrow will be our review, and then Thursday will be our quiz. So make sure you're practicing that skip counting. Make sure you're practicing the break apart strategy, because I'm pretty sure all of that is going to be on the quiz on Friday. Not Friday, I'm sorry, Thursday. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Oh, quick announcement for the raffle. The raffle is actually going to be on tomorrow, but I'm going to explain all of that towards the end of the video, so make sure you keep watching till the end so I can go ahead and tell you all the information that you need to know about the raffle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the homework for today. Today's homework was on page 175, and again, it was practicing multiplying with nines. So if you look at the top, they gave us an example they gave us. They actually want you to use that example to help you solve number 1. So let's look at the directions. It says solve problems 1 through 3 to find how many are in 6 groups of 9. Okay, so I went ahead and drew the array. This is the array. 6 groups of 9 are 6 rows with 9 in each row. So remember, the 9 is our columns, the 6 is our rows. So let's count to make sure our array is correct. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's our 6 rows. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is going to be our 9 columns, or 9 in each row. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at number 1. Number 1 says, use what you know about 5 times 9 above. So that's the example I was telling you about, how they're going to be using what they did in example to help solve number 1. So I'll start again. Use what you know about 5 times 9 above to break apart this 6 times 9 array into 2 groups. So they're telling you they want you to use the 5 times 9 to help you solve the array for 6 times 9. Okay, draw to show the 2 groups. So let's go ahead and start. So they want us to use 5 times 9. First of all, this array, like I told you, was 6 times 9. This whole array is 6 times 9. But they want us to use 5 times 9 to help us solve that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So they want us to break it up into 2 arrays. The first array is going to be for the 5 times 9. So that means I'm going to do 5 rows of 9. So let's count 5 rows of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my 5th row, and 9 in each of those rows. So this time my line is going to go here, because I am now separating the rows. So do you remember when I told you we break apart numbers to figure out, to make it easier for us to solve? Well, for this problem, they are actually breaking apart the 6 into 5 and 1. Remember, 5 plus 1 equals 6, which is why they asked us to use the 5 times 9, because it is a 5 rows and then the 1 row that adds together to make our 6. So over here, I'm just going to put that this is not 6, I'm sorry. This is 5 rows, and this right here is the 1 row. So this is what my 6 was broken up. The 5 rows and the 1 rows. And again, the reason why we broke up the rows is because the first number means rows. So that's why the rows, we drew the line to separate our rows this time. We usually draw a line to separate the columns, which is up and down, because we're usually breaking apart the second number. And the second number is usually our columns, but today they switched it up on us. They don't want us to break up the columns, they want us to break up the rows. So that's why, again, I drew my line this way to separate my rows. And they wanted us to do it to represent 5 times 9. So now, if I go ahead and write a multiplication equation, okay, so that is actually number 2, because I was making sure that I wasn't jumping ahead and start solving something and it's going to be for another problem. So all they wanted us to do for number 1 is to go ahead and separate it. That was it. Ms. Newman went ahead and separated. We are done. Let's go ahead and move to number 2. Now this is what I was starting on, but I had to pause and freeze so that I make sure I wasn't jumping ahead of myself. So for number 2, they want us to write the multiplication equation you can use for each group in problem 1. So the separation we did in problem 1, now they want us to write the multiplication equation. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I'm writing the first multiplication for the top part of the array, which is going to be from this row to the row where the red line is, you count how many rows, because remember the first number is going to be your rows. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my first equation, and I'm going to go ahead and write it over here by the number 2, is going to be 5, because I just counted 5 rows. And then I'm going to count how many I have in each row. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that means my second number is 9, because I have 9 in each row, or 9 columns. Okay, so now I put my addition sign, because remember when we break it apart, we have to glue it back together with the addition sign. We just broke it apart here, and then I put the addition sign after I wrote this first equation, because I'm going to have to go back and glue it back together. I'm going to have to add it back together. Okay, let's move to the second part, which is the bottom part. So the bottom part only has 1 row. So that means I'm going to write 1, because I only have 1 row. So 1 times, now we're going to count how many we have in that 1 row. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I have 9 in that 1 row, so 9. So these are the 2 multiplication equations that goes with each part of the array. Again, the top part, that equation is 5 times 9, which is going back to number 1, the equation that they actually wanted us to use. You see how that works out? How everything checks itself? So that is perfect. Let's go to the next equation. For the bottom part, we got 1 times 9, because there's only 1 row of 9. So far, everything is working out. So let's keep going. We're going to go to number 3, because that's all they asked us to do for number 2 is write those multiplication equations. So let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, add the products in problem 2 to find 6 times 9. So now we're trying to figure out exactly what 6 times 9 is. So Ms. Newman is going to go ahead and write that, 6 times 9, because now we're getting ready to figure out what 6 times 9 is. Now, okay, let's look at this. We need to figure out the products of each of these. So let's go back to our equation. So for number 2, we wrote 5 times 9. Well, we can figure out what the product is by doing a skip count. So let's go ahead and do a skip count. I'm going to write my equal sign and my blank plus blank. That'll let me know that these are the products. So for 5 times 9, because there are 9 in each row, we're going to do a skip count by 9. And I know you're probably saying, Ms. Newman, 9s? That's kind of hard. Well, guess what? This is the week we are learning 9s. So we're just going to go ahead and jump on in and start practicing that skip count, which is why Ms. Newman was kind of tell you early on in the lesson 7 to make sure you practice 7, 8, and 9, because now we have made it to 9s and they're asking us now to start skip counting by 9s. But we can do this with no problem. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start, and I'm going to put my skip counts on this side. So this is going to be 9 then 18, then 27, then 36, and 45. So now I know that the answer or the product for 5 times 9, that's that vocabulary word again, the product of 5 times 9 is going to be 45. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the skip count for the bottom array. Now this one is only one row of 9, so when I do my skip count, this is just going to be 9, because that's all I have is one row of 9. So 1 times 9, we know, is going to be 9. All right, so now that we have our products, we can go back to number 3, because number 3 says to add the products. You see how they put that vocabulary word in there, product? Add the products, but we already know what they're asking us to do because we are masters of the word product. We know what it means, so we should have no problem answering that question because we already know what they're asking. So they want us to add the products. So these are our products, 45 and 9. Ms. Newman is going to go ahead and write it for number 3. So 45 plus 9. So I am going to set it up the way that I know some people like to see it and prefer it to be set up when we're adding. So I'm going to do it this way. 45 plus 9, making sure I line up my numbers because this is just 9. Make sure this is 9 ones. Make sure you put the 9 in the ones place. Don't put it in the tens place because that's not 990, it is 9. So 9 ones. So it goes in the ones place. Okay, now let's start adding. So we have 5 plus 4, that is going to be 14. So I'm going to write my 4 and then I'm going to carry my 1 or regroup my 1 in the tens place. So now we're in the tens place. Well, there's nothing for me to add my 4 to, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to the 1 that I regrouped. So 4 plus that 1 is going to be 5. So now I know that 45 plus 9 is 54. Well, if 45 plus 9 is 54, remember these were the 2 arrays that we broke it up into, and the addition sign was our glue to put it back together. So now I know that the entire array of 6 times 9, since we glued it back together, is going to equal 54. So the product of 6 times 9 is 54. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the back part of the page. That is going to be 176. Now, on page 176, they're giving us some problems to practice with. These are some multiplication problems, and these are numbers that are being multiplied by 9. So we're practicing 9s, they're being multiplied by 9s. And just like we did earlier in other lessons, they gave us the break aparts. This is a break apart set of break aparts. This is a set of break aparts. This is a set of break aparts. This is a set, and this is a set. So these are all sets. They all go together. Okay, so we are going to, let me read the directions because I'm going to tell you, I was getting ready to tell you what we're going to do, but I'm going to go ahead and read those directions. So it says, draw a line to the pair of multiplication equations that can be used to solve each multiplication problem. Write the missing product for each equation. So let's go ahead and write the product. Once we find our product, then we can go ahead and draw the lines to the matching answers. So let's go ahead and do that, starting with the product. So if I look at this, I have 2 times 9. Well, we can skip count by 2 till we get to our 9th finger. That will help us solve 2 times 9. Some of the kids already know that quickly like this. Good job if you do. If not, we still can skip count. There's nothing wrong with skip count. Ms. Newman promotes skip counting. So let's go ahead and skip count by 2, and we're going to stop when we get to our 9th finger. Or, better yet, because we are actually working with our 9s, I'm going to start practicing my 9s. I was going to do the easy route and skip count by 2 because 2s are easy. But let's do the challenge, and we're going to start practicing our 9s. So I'm gonna now skip count by 9 and stop when I get to my second finger. So that is going to be 9, 18. So 9 times 2 is 18 because I got to 18 when I got to my second finger. So this is going to be 18. All right, let's go to 3 times 9. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to skip count by 9, but I'm going to stop when I get to my third finger because there is a 3. So let's do that. That is going to be 9, 18, 27. So when I got to my third finger, I got to the number 27. So that means 3 times 9 is going to be 27. All right. So when we get to the next one, they try to trick us up and they try to break apart a number. But that's okay because we've been through this already. So we look at the addition sign. Remember, the addition sign is the glue that brings it back together for the number they broke apart so we can figure out what it is. So let's glue it back together and add it. So let's go ahead and do 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is going to be 9. So the problem that we are trying to solve here is 4 times, and then we found out this was 9. So let's figure out what 4 times 9 is. So again, I'm going to skip count by 9, and I'm going to stop when I get to my fourth finger because there is a 4. So let's go ahead and do that. That is going to be 9, 18, 27, 36. So I got to 36 when I got to my fourth finger. So now I know that 4 times 9 is 36, and I'm going to put 36 on the line. Okay, next one, they did it to us again. They tried to trick us up and put the addition equation because they broke it apart. So we just have to figure out what that broken apart number is by gluing it back together with that addition sign. So let's go ahead and glue that back together and add it. So we're going to add our 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is going to be 9. So now we know that that number is 9. So I'm going to rewrite it with the 9. So I'm going to do 7 times 9. So now we're going to go ahead and practice the skip counting. I'm going to skip count with 9s or by 9s, and I'm going to stop when I get to my 7th finger because there's a 7. So let's go ahead and do that. So it is going to be 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63. So when I got to my 7th finger, I got to 63. So I know that 7 times 9 is going to be 63. Okay, we have one more left to go, and that is going to be 8 times 9. So that means I am going to be skip counting by 9, and I'm going to stop when I get to my 8th finger. So let's go ahead and do that. That is going to be 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. Oh, wow. We really are getting up there with our skip counting. So this is 72. When I got to my 8th finger, I stopped at 72. So now I know that 8 times 9 is going to be 72. All right, we have found the products of all of the equations on this side. Let's now go to the break apart side and find the answers to those. So the first one I have 4 times 5. We can skip count by 5 till I get to my 4th finger. So let's do that. This is more so practicing a lot of skip count. So if we do our skip counting with that, we're really getting some good practice in. So we're going to do skip count by 5, and I'm going to stop when I get to my 4th finger. So that is going to be, and the reason why I'm skip counting by the second number, because remember, the second number is how many I have in each row or the size. So that means that's what I'm going to skip count by, because that's how much it is for each group or each row. So let's go. You can imagine an array in your head, and then you can figure out what I'm talking about. Or better yet, Ms. Newman likes to draw things out. Let me go ahead and draw what I'm talking about. So If it's 4 times 5, that means that first number means that I have 4 rows and 5 in each row. So this is why I say skip count by 5, or the second number, because I have 5 in each row. So now this would be 5, 10, 15, 20. So 4 times 5 is 20. That's why you skip count by your second number. Okay, so now when I get to the next equation, I have 4 times 4. That means I'm going to skip count by 4, and I'm going to stop when I get to my 4th finger. So that is going to be 4, 8, 12, 16. So when I got to my 4th finger, I got 16. So 16 is my answer. Okay, let's go to my next set of break aparts. 7 times 3. So I'm going to skip count by 3s and stop when I get to my 7th finger. So let's do that. That is going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So when I got to my 7th finger, I got to 21. So 21 is going to be my answer, or my product. Okay, let's go to the next one. I have 7 times 6. I'm going to skip count by 6 and stop when I get to my 7th finger. Let's go ahead and do that. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. So when I got to my 7th finger, I got to 42. So now I know that 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, let's go to our next set of break aparts. So we have 2 times 2. So that means I'm going to skip count by 2 and stop when I get to my 2nd finger. So let's go ahead and do that one. That is going to be 2, 4. That's it. 2 little fingers. So when I stop at my 2nd finger, I got 4. So the answer is 4. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next equation, which is 2 times 7. I'm going to skip count by 7, and I'm going to stop when I get to my 2nd finger. So let's go ahead and skip count by 7. That is going to be 7, 14. I got to 14 when I got to my 2nd finger, so that means 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, so let's go to the next set of break aparts. So we have 3 times 4, where we're going to skip count by 4, stop when we get to our 3rd finger. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be 4, 8, 12. When I got to my 3rd finger, I got 12. So that means 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, let's go to the next one. 3 times 5. Well, 3 times 5 means I'm going to skip count by 5s and stop when I get to my 3rd finger. So let's go ahead and do that. 5, 10, 15. So I got 15 when I got to my 3rd finger. That means 3 times 5 is 15. All right, and my last set of break aparts right here. We have 8 times 8. So that means I'm going to skip count by 8, and then I'm going to stop when I get to my 8th finger. Let's start. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. When I got to my 8th finger, I got 64. So that means 8 times 8 is 64. All right. Now, my last equation is 8 times 1. That means I'm going to skip count by 1 and stop when I get to my 8th finger. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. when I got to my 8 finger, I had 8, so 8 times 1 is going to be 8. All right, so now all we have to do is draw our line to the matching breaker parts. These are the equations, and we have to draw the line to the matching breaker parts. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start with our first one. I have 2 times 9 equals 18. So when I look at this, I automatically look at the first number of 2. I look over here to see if I have any number that has a 2 as the rows. And hey, this is a group that has 2 as the rows. So far, this part is looking good to me. So now I need to see if there's something that the 9 was broken up into. So I see a 2 and I have a 7. So could 2 and 7 equals 9? Well, 2 plus 7 is 9. So far everything looks good. Let's look at the product. If I add 4 plus 14, so 14 plus 4, then that will definitely give me an answer of 18. So I have 3 things that make me for sure know that this one is the matching break apart. So I'm drawing my line there. Okay, let's go to 3 times 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. So when I go here, I look at my first number, it is 3. So I'm gonna look over here to see if I have any rows with 3. This set has 3 for the rows. So far that set is looking good to me. So let's go ahead and look at the second number, which is 9. Well, I have a 4 and a 5. So if I break 9 up into 4 and 5, does it equal 9? 4 plus 5 indeed equals 9. So far, that is my second check that lets me know everything is still looking good. The third and final check is to go ahead and add those products together. So I'm trying to get a product of 27. Let's see if it works out. So we're going to do 15 plus 12. Okay, so 2 plus 5, or 5 plus 2 is going to be 7, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So I did get 27, so that lets me know this indeed is my matching pair. Okay, so I am going to stop there, and I'm going to let you figure out the last 3 matching pairs. Okay, I'm sure you can do this with no problem because I have the utmost confidence that you will get this correct. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next problem, which is problem 5. So for problem 5, it says break apart the array, then write equations to show how you can use the parts to find 9 times 9. So I already went ahead and wrote the array so you don't have to wait. So they want us to solve 9 times 9, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna break apart, I like to break apart my columns because, I don't know, I'm so used to drawing the line going straight down. You can break apart your rows if you like to draw the line going across. It doesn't matter which number you break apart because you'll still get the same answer as long as you break it apart correctly. So I'm going to do my second number, and I'm going to break that apart. So I'm going to break that 9 up into, let's do 5 and 4. So that means I'm going to count 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to draw my line down there. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So that's the 5 that I broke it apart into. And then on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4 that I broke it up into. So everything is matching. I like to make sure all my stuff is matching because then that's my checks. It lets me know that, hey, I am on the right track. So let's keep going. So next step would be to write equations. So let's go ahead and start writing equations. So I'm looking at my left side. Remember, yesterday I labeled this. This is the left side. And this is the right side. So if I wanted to write an equation for my left side, we start with our rows. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rows. So my first number is 9 times. Let's see how many I have in each row or how many columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 times 5. Okay, let's go to the second array, which is going to be the right side. So again, I still have my same 9 rows. So 9 goes first. But this time, I don't have 5 in each row or 5 columns. Let's count how many I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this is going to be 4. So these are the equations for the left side is 9 times 5. And then the equation for the right side is 9 times 4. So now the next step would be to find the products. Let's find the product of 9 times 5. I can do that by doing a skip count. Because there are 5 in each row, I can skip count by 5. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So now I know that the answer to 9 times 5 is 45. Let's go to the right side and do our skip count. Because there are 4 in each row, I'm going to go ahead and skip count by 4. So let's get started. This is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So now I know that 9 times 4 is 36. Now all I have to do is add them back together to figure out what the big array is, which is 9 times 9. Because remember, we broke it apart into 2 smaller ones, which is 9 times 5 and 9 times 4. Now we have to use our glue, add them back together, glue it together, so that we can figure out what the big array was. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to set it up this way so we can add 45 plus 36. Starting in my ones, I have 5 plus 6. Well, 5 plus 6 is going to be 11. I'm going to write the 1 and regroup the other one in the tens place. So let's go ahead and start with my tens. I have 4 plus 3, that is going to be 7, plus that 1 that I regroup is going to be 8. So 45 plus 36 is 81. Not only is 45 plus 36 81, now we know that 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, and that is the end of our homework for today. You guys did a really great job. Make sure you go back and complete numbers 4 so that you can get those last 3 done. Now, I said I had a couple announcements about tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be no homework video because it's the study day. So make sure you study the session from tomorrow, which is session 5. We're going to do it together in class. And then parents, just make sure you review that with them for tomorrow for their quiz on Thursday. But what I am going to do on tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead, since it's no homework on tomorrow, I don't have to do a homework video, but I'm going to do the raffle video. So I'm going to go ahead and do the raffle and pull the names for the people who won the golden microphone, or the Raising Cane's gift card, or the McDonald's gift card. So make sure you tune into that YouTube so that you can see. Again, I also have something I want to give to the parents as well. Just my appreciation to say thank you for allowing me to teach your students. They are indeed a joy, and I enjoy teaching them. And again, thank you for giving me the opportunity by enrolling them into Helix. That is it for today. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you on tomorrow for our big reveal of who's the winners. So it's going to be exciting. I cannot wait to do that. I've been waiting since I kind of came up with this idea on last week. So I've been waiting since last week to figure out who was going to be my winners. I'm excited. The kids are excited. They keep saying, Ms. Dillon, when is the raffle? When is the raffle? Well, the raffle is tomorrow, guys. It's going to be after school. So make sure you go home and check out that YouTube video. I cannot wait to post it. So go ahead and have a great rest of your day. I will see you on tomorrow for the raffle. Bye.